Hi, thanks for joining. In this video, we will go through a general overview of the Access Manager component in Timbr, where you can create new users, roles, and policies. This video is the first video in a series of 3 that will cover the Access Manager. We recommend you watch all 3 videos so you're equipped with the best practices. So let's begin. We'll open the Access Manager by clicking on the Manage tab and selecting Access Manager. We can now see 3 main tabs: Users, Roles, and Policies, where the default tab selected is the Users tab. In this tab, we have 3 users that have already been created: WPS Admin, My User, and Demo User. We can see general information about each user, including his name and email address that was specified in the platform, his username, which is used to log in a case where the single sign-on mechanism is not being used. We can also see the roles that are associated with each user, the status of the user, which can be either active or inactive, a timestamp with the last activity of the user, and 3 clickable actions per user: view permissions to see the detailed access a user has according to his associated roles, the pencil button to edit the selected user, or the garbage can to delete the selected user. In our next video, we will cover in depth how to create a user with all the different user creation options, as well as how to assign specific access to a user regardless of the roles and policies. For now, let's move on to the second tab, Roles. The Timbr platform comes with 5 default roles that apply to the entire platform. First, the admin role, which gives full access to the entire platform. Next, we have the editor role, which can basically do everything an admin can do besides the Access Manager functionalities. Users with this role can create new knowledge graphs or data sources, as well as edit existing ones. Users with the editor role can also query everything in the platform, both the virtual data models as well as the actual tables in the connected data sources. The next default role is the analyst role. A user with this role can query every knowledge graph in the platform. What he can't do is query the physical tables of the connected data sources, and he can't edit or create knowledge graphs or edit and connect data sources. The analyst role is only for querying purposes and does not give access to making changes to the existing knowledge graphs. The next role is the viewer role, which basically has access only to the metadata of all the knowledge graphs in the platform. The viewer can explore the knowledge graph models and see the properties and relationships of each concept, but he cannot query anything, and he doesn't have any access to the data, not through the virtual model and not through the underlying tables of the connected data sources. The last role is called Public. This role allows external access to a resource without needing to sign into the Timbr platform. Usually, users use this role for web applications connected to the Timbr platform to see dashboards and graph explorations, or to enable access for Timbr components that were embedded in external applications. For every row, you can hover over the user assigned icon to see the list of users assigned to that role. Next to it, you can click on View Permissions to see the detailed permissions associated with the role. And all the way to the right, there's a button in case you want to assign the role to a new user or an existing one, or if you'd like to duplicate and edit the specific role. It's important to mention that Timbr creates default roles for each data source connected to the platform, as well as default roles for each knowledge graph created. These roles include Analyst, Editor, and Viewer, which basically act the same as the default roles, just on a resource level. For example, if you assign a knowledge graph default role, the user will be able to either edit, query, or just view the knowledge graph depending on the role you assign to them, but only within that specific knowledge graph, meaning the user will only be able to edit, query, or view that specific knowledge graph. The same goes for default data source roles, where the editor role allows users to both query the data source directly and edit the connection settings. The last tab in the Access Manager is the Policies tab. Here, admins can create access policies on a concept level, a mapping level, or on property or view levels. This is usually used when you want to apply raw level security or differentiate between users with the same access level but with different permissions on the data. In the Policies tab, we can see the policy name, the data model it's associated with, and the resource it is applied on within the data model. As mentioned, it can be a concept, a mapping, a property, or even a view. When hovering over the resource, you can also see the exact condition for that policy. Next to it, you can see the number of users it is assigned to, and when hovering over it, you can also see the actual users associated with that policy. Next to that, there's the last updated timestamp, and finally at the end is the Options button that when clicked on allows users to edit that policy, assign the policy to a user, or assign the policy to a role, or remove that policy altogether. This sums up the general overview of the Access Manager component. I invite you to watch the next videos of the series to learn how to create the users, roles, and policies. Thanks for watching and have a great day.